What's up, guys? It's me, the Midwest Fish Keeper, bringing us back part 3 of the Pistogramma 20-gallon long tank build. Now, we have completed the stand, so now that it's time to do the tank stuff. So, in this episode, we're going to be painting the back of the tank. We're also going to be making a lid. And we're going to get everything all ready to start our aquascaping and eventually putting fish in. Now, I really want to paint the back of this tank because I think it really achieves the look that I want. And these apistogramma and South American tanks, where they come from is pretty dark and it's tannin filled. So the back of the tank being black will help aid in the darkness look and the contrast of the plants and the wood and the fish. So I'm going to be using a matte black acrylic paint. And right now I'm doing is taping everything off. I'm making sure I'm not getting paint on the sides. And I'm going to wipe this down with isopropyl alcohol. And what that does is allows for a cleaner surface. And here it is, me painting it. Here's the first coat. This takes a while, and since it's getting applied to glass, it doesn't stick well at all. So it takes multiple coats. It takes a long time for it to dry. And then you got to do it again. It took me like 2 days and 4 to 5 coats to really get the consistency I wanted. Since it's acrylic paint, it chips really easily, so you have to be careful with that. But I have installed it on my tank, and I've had it running for a while now, and I've had zero issues, anything chipping off besides maybe like where my filter is. So I actually really recommend this, and it's pretty easy to do, and it makes the look of the tank so much better. For my lid, I'm using a polycarbonate twin wall. You can find this in like the greenhouse section of any hardware store. One side has a UV side, one side doesn't. So you have to be super careful on which side it is. You want the UV side facing up for your lid. And it's really easy to cut too. Literally all you gotta do is draw a line of where you want to cut. And you score it with an X-Acto knife or like a really sharp razor blade. And then all you do is just bend it. And that's it. It'll just snap right off. It's really nice. It's really easy. And you can form it any way you want. The pros of using this twin wall polycarbonate for a fish tank is that it's actually really rigid. So you can just use one main sheet for the whole tank. It also prevents fish from jumping out. It diffuses the light for the plants. Instead of using greenhouses, it holds in heat and moisture better. So you don't have to constantly worry about topping off your water all the time, like I've had to do with egg crate and screen tops. It also looks really nice. And yeah, you can form it any way you want. So I cut a little filter hole out just by using an X-Acto knife and a pair of scissors. So you can mold this and form it to anywhere you want, any combinations. It's just an interesting clip of what it looks like when you put light on it. Looks kind of interesting. So the one big thing with this twin wall polycarbonate is after you cut it and form it in the way you want it, you have to seal it with silicone. Otherwise, those channels, once you cut it open, create moisture and it traps water into it and then causes algae growth. Next thing you know, your sheet's basically ruined or just a pain to clean. So I took some aquarium safe silicone, which is silicone typically from a hardware store that has no mold or mildew resistance to it. And in this case, the GE window indoor stuff has no mildew resistance, so it is safe to use for aquariums. Now I just put it on, I let it dry for a day, I make sure I get it into every single channel, and I just glob it on as much as I can. Then to get it to seal really nicely, what I'll do is I'll just take the X-Acto knife and I'll just trim the silicone off till it becomes flush with the channels. And that's pretty much it. Your lid's done. And it looks good. Here's the finished product with my stand, with the painted background and the lid molded to my filter. It looks amazing, and I cannot wait to start aquascaping this tank and get it ready for fish. Stay tuned for part 4.